So, the new Skirmish mode has dropped for Hell Let Loose, and I'm going to give you my first impressions of the mode after streaming it on release, which was the 29th of Feb. So just in case you don't know what Skirmish mode is, it's still a 50v50 30-minute game where you battle over one central control point. There's a new garrison type that's been added called the forward position, and instead of the normal garrisons that have to be built 200 meters apart, forward positions can be built 100 meters apart. And I'm not sure if there's a limit as to how many forward positions that you can build. There's one armor squad in this mode, which is always a medium tank, one recon squad per team, no artillery, and the win condition is to control the point when the time runs out. Some people have been saying that this skirmish mode is going to turn Hell Let Loose into Call of Duty. Is this mode anything like Call of Duty after playing it? No, not at all. It's not faster paced. It still plays exactly the same as Hell Let Loose. The core gameplay is still Hell Let Loose. They haven't changed it. They haven't changed like running speed or how it aims. It's still Hell Let Loose. You still have to control the objective. Map control is still really important. You need to not just control the actual objective itself, but you need to spread out and defend the map, not just the objective, and you still need to hunt down enemy spawns. Is it more casual than warfare or offensive? Yeah, slightly, and that's because there's no mass amount of armor you have to deal with. It's always going to be that one medium tank, and there's no artillery. But it's still Hell Let Loose. It's just a more focused, quicker in terms of time game mode. It's kind of like the beginning of warfare where you fight over the central point. It's just that for 30 minutes. So yeah, like I said, I streamed it on the 29th for about 2.5 hours, and in that time I had 5 games, and they were all decent to really good games. There was 0 steamrolls, because you can't have steamrolls in this skirmish mode because there's only one control point to fight over. Yes, a team could capture the point first and hold it for the entire game, but you're not going to be steamrolled back to your HQ because you can't be. And I can't remember the last time where I had 5 games in one stream that were all good with no steamrolls. The only reason I stopped my stream was just because of what time it was in the night. I also think that this skirmish mode is a good intro into Hell Let Loose because it is such a focused mode where you're fighting over that one point. It really can teach players how to actually defend and attack a singular objective, how to flank and not just charge in a straight line to the objective. It will teach players to learn and watch out for enemies trying to flank around the sides or to work their ways right round the back, to defend the objective, to control the map, and to find enemy spawns. Because you can't just sit in the strong point and defend it. If you do that, you probably will eventually get overwhelmed. And when those players take that approach into warfare or offensive, then really that's just how you play offensive and warfare anyway. You defend the map, you control the map, you defend the objective, you watch for flanks, you flank yourself. You just need to watch out for that extra armor and artillery. So for the release of Skirmish, we've got technically 4 maps. So there's El Alamein Dusk, El Alamein Day, Driel Night and Driel Day. So really it's just 2 maps. They have changed both maps to make them work for skirmish mode a bit better, and those changes have made it into the main warfare and offensive maps. And for El Alamein, I think that's had the most substantial changes done to it, and those changes are really good. It's pretty much changes to the central portion of El Alamein where the new oasis has been built, and fighting over that for a few maps, I've had some really great skirmishes in the sort of control point in the ruins, in the buildings around the oasis, and pushing further out towards the enemy spawns and to like the northern and southern areas of the control point. I think the new El Alamein, at least the skirmish mode, I haven't played the warfare version yet, I think it's a really solid map. Now Drill is not as good, and that's because of kind of like the original problems that El Alamein had, where there's a lot of open areas, and that's what Drill has. To the sides of the railway line, there's quite a bit of open field, and I think they need to, or maybe should, make some changes to add a little bit more cover, maybe into the skirmish only map. But really for skirmish, they need to get some more maps in as soon as possible, because yeah, there is just 2 maps really. It doesn't matter that there's like time of day variants, it's still just 2 maps. They need to get in stuff like Carentan, because Carentan is the best map, so fighting over what would be a purely urban area would be awesome. Kharkov, which was the first map I think that was tested for skirmish, where's that? Chuck that into the game, fighting over the church would be really good. SME, SMDM, multiple areas you could use for a skirmish mode in there. I think those maps would be great. And Utah, fighting over the church. How many times have you fought over the church in Utah? I think that would be perfect for skirmish, because I think that whole area around the church is really good. I'm even thinking of creating my own server when new maps come out for the skirmish mode and make it a skirmish only server. If you've been worrying that skirmish will turn the game into something it's not, it hasn't, and it won't. It's still Hell Let Loose. You can play warfare or offensive and stay fighting over one objective, and you're basically playing skirmish. That's all it is. There's nothing to worry about. I don't see the devs trying to turn Hell Let Loose into something more casual. All they've done is added a game mode. They haven't changed how the game plays in terms of movement and the weapons and the recoil and squad structure or any of the other systems like nodes or tanks. They haven't changed anything like that. It's just fighting over one control point. One thing I do see potentially happening on PC is that the game mode will only be used as a seeding mode, which is trying to get people into an empty server to play a more focused game before they change the game type to warfare or offensive. I hope that doesn't happen, but right now, with it only being 2 maps, I can see that happening quite quickly. So that's why I think they really need to get some new maps in as soon as possible. It also needs to be mentioned that because this is a 30-minute mode for Hell Let Loose, it is going to mean that more people can probably get more game out of playing Hell Let Loose, because I said it in a different video where sometimes I get back from work and I've sorted myself out that I don't play Hell Let Loose because I may not have time for one full game, because I could join a server that's halfway through or nearly finished a match, go into the next one, and by the time I need to sort of stop playing, that map hasn't ended yet, which will just screw me over. So in those situations, sometimes what I do is I jump on Hunt Showdown instead, but now I can just join a skirmish server and play a few rounds of skirmish, which means I can just play Hell Let Loose more. And that's just a good thing. Who doesn't want to play just more Hell Let Loose? So I want to know what you guys think about skirmish mode down in the comments below. Have you tried it yet? What do you think of it? What do you think they need to add or change to it? Are you worried about what skirmish mode will do to Hell Let Loose? Are you worried about it becoming a more casual game? Are you interested in a skirmish only server? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you liked the video, give it a like, dislike if you didn't. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more.